It's time for Recipe of the Day. Tomorrow is Labor Day, and if you're having a crowd over, you have to make these make-ahead ribs. They take the guesswork right out of things so that you know the ribs are fully cooked before you put them on the grill so that you can relax and enjoy your company and not be stressing out about it. So this will work for baby back ribs, St. Louis ribs, and spare ribs, and it also works for beef ribs. I don't mean those chunky sort of square-shaped short ribs. I mean the long beef ribs. This will work for those as well. Now, first, if your ribs have a membrane or silver skin along one side, it is best to remove that because it can make them less tender for when you're chewing on them. And then if they are the spare ribs, you need to trim off the top, sort of where the little cartilage bits and things are. You just want the longer bones, not the little bit bones. And I'm going to link to a recipe specifically for the spare ribs, which has a video in it that shows you how to trim them as well, if you have those. If you have the baby back, the spare ribs, or the beef ribs, just make sure that membrane is gone. Otherwise, you're good to go. You're going to make a pork rub for this, a seasoning blend designed for ribs specifically. I'm going to link to the rib rub in the show notes for you, just in case you want just that recipe. But basically, you're mixing together a tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1.5 teaspoons of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of mustard powder, a teaspoon of ground cumin, and then optionally, if you want these spicy, you could do a 1/2 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Mix that up. Preheat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Get out a large piece of aluminum foil, put it on a big baking sheet, put the ribs on the foil that's on the baking sheet, and then you're sprinkling both sides of the ribs with that mixture. Now, I'm just going to say that rib rub recipe makes enough for 2 3-pound racks of ribs. So you'd be putting 1/4 of the mixture onto each side of each rack for 2 racks total. If you're only doing 1 rack of ribs, then you would use less of the seasoning. Okay, so then you wrap those racks of ribs tightly in the aluminum foil and then put those racks that are wrapped in foil that are on the baking pan into the 300 degree Fahrenheit oven. If they are baby back ribs, you're going for 1.5 to 2 hours. For St. Louis ribs and spare ribs and the beef ribs, it's more like 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm going to say that the lower time is if you like your ribs really tender but still gently clinging to the bone, then you're going to do them for shorter. And if you like them like really fall off the bone tender, then you're doing it for the longer range in there that I was giving. So it's 1.5 to 2 hours for the baby back and 2.5 to 3 hours for the others. Okay. Then you take that pan out of the oven, let the ribs rest for 15 minutes. Now, if you are doing this ahead of time, up to 2 days in advance, you can just transfer those foil wrapped ribs on the pan into the fridge for up to 2 days. They are fine in there. They are fully cooked. Or you can proceed. So if you have them in the fridge, you're going to take them out 15 to 30 minutes before you're going to start heating them up so that they're not fridge cold. If you've just taken them out of the oven and you've let them rest for 15 minutes, you're pretty much doing the same thing at this point. So you're going to unwrap the ribs and then you're going to transfer them to a cutting board. You are going to either preheat your grill for direct grilling over medium-high heat, or you're going to preheat your broiler with the top rack of the oven about 6 to 8 inches from the heat element. That's right. You can finish these on the grill or under the broiler. Then you're going to cut the ribs into servings. You can do 1 bone or up to 4 bone portions. And then you're brushing them liberally with barbecue sauce. You need about a 9-ounce bottle for the 2 racks that I was talking about, or you can do homemade. And I'm going to link to my classic barbecue recipe. It's really a basic one that you can doctor up, and also to my smoky and spicy barbecue sauce recipe. If you want to make homemade barbecue sauce, those are great choices. Or just use the bottled barbecue sauce. Now, if you are grilling them, you are putting them over direct heat, medium-high heat, and you are cooking them until they're heated through and just starting to get a little charred here and there. It's going to take about 5 to 7 minutes. You're going to be turning them, but it's like 5 to 7 minutes total while you're flipping them happily there, knowing that they are fully cooked and that you're not worrying about anything other than making them warm. Or you could do them in the broiler. Like I said, you're putting them on a broiler pan or really sturdy baking baking sheet that can handle it. You're putting those rib portions on the pan, brushing them with the sauce, and then they are going under the broiler just until they start kind of darkening in spots. Then flip them over, use tongs, flip them all over, do the other side. They should be heated through and done. So that is how you make really easy make ahead ribs. You know they're going to be juicy and tender because you slow cooked them. They're going to have that char. You know they're fully cooked and you're not worrying about them being raw or overcooked for that matter. They are perfect. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is August 31st of 2025, last day of August. Wow. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast recipe of the day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.